Hey guys, red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. You who are arriving here, you who won the first Copa Libertadores da America semifinal game and didn't lose 3-0 in the semifinal, you who beat your national rival over the weekend, you who are confident with titles still to come in the 2025 season, welcome. I invite you to follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe down below. Turn on the bell notification and leave that cool like on the video. Well, I'm going to get right to the point and talk about this situation regarding Danilo, okay? Yeah, it's important news. Investigated by our team, along with Danilo's staff, who I know are very upset, very annoyed with this situation. From Zelias, take a look. Before reaching an agreement with Flamengo, Danilo received offers from European clubs like Napoli, Olympique de Marseille, Brighton, and Porto, as well as teams from Saudi Arabia. The defender picked Flamengo for the club's project, size, ambition for titles, Felipe Luiz's presence, and most importantly, to fulfill a childhood dream. Since his arrival, Danilo has shown enthusiasm and pride in wearing the sacred jersey, both during his presentation on the Maracanã field and in his first days at Ninho do Urubu. He performed well in the matches against Palmeiras and Racing, which were tough and crucial for the red and black team this season. Danilo returned to Brazil not to steal, but to win. Okay, so that's our investigation. Magnetica fans' comments are just envy from those who've never worn the sacred jersey. Exactly, man. And I saw people out there, influencers, saying, oh, but it was off the record. It was just like a bar conversation. He didn't know he was live. It was leaked. It doesn't matter. With today's technology, if I say something foolish and it's recorded, I'll have to answer for it. If I say something stupid and they're recording, I'll have to answer for it. Knowing that nowadays everything is recorded, everything can be live, everything can be leaked, you don't say it. So if you said it, take responsibility for what you said. And what you said was very serious. Don't come at me with that. What you said was very serious. Okay? As someone who uses a lot of technology, I know that if you're saying something, you have to be aware that you might have to take responsibility for it. Especially nowadays, everyone has a phone to record at the next table. Everyone is recording you. Unfortunately or fortunately, because today you're also more protected. That's the reality, okay? We have the Brazilian Football Confederation creating a group to discuss proposals for improving refereeing in Brazilian soccer. So the Brazilian Football Confederation made this group. The ordinance allows representatives from Serie A and B clubs, federations, referees, assistants, and independent consultants to participate. Key topics include professionalizing refereeing, referee training and education, and technology management and use. The initiative follows recent criticism of the sector. It's worth remembering that Ramon Abate, Abel, and Hilbert Estevam da Silva were removed after serious mistakes made in refereeing during the Brasileirão. Okay? So, as we bring you this information, we're also going to talk about Flamengo's squad list here. Let's talk about De La Cruz, right? The reason why De La Cruz wasn't included in the squad, right? Flamengo released the information regarding Alexandro De La Cruz. Leo Ortiz, we have all the information here to bring to you, and we're going to share this information with you as we go. And we're going to show here now Flamengo's departure to Fortaleza, and also bring you the list of players, okay? So we're going to follow along. Look, images of Flamengo arriving at Gideon to board, right? And let's bring up right away the list of players and the explanation for some players who aren't present, okay? So we have Alan, Ayrton, Lucas, Bruno Henrique, Danilo de Arrascaeta, Douglas, Diogo Alves, Emerson Royal, Everton Araújo, Guilherme Ovarela, Iago João Vitor, Jorginho, Juninho, Luiz Araújo, Léo Pereira, Matheus Cunha, Micael, Gonzalo Plata, Augustin Rossi, Samuel Lino, Saul Niguez, Matias Vinha, who is being included, especially since Alexandro isn't, and Alassian as well, because he's coming back, Both he and Juninho are included since Pedro is not among those listed. Pedro is out. Leo Ortiz is out as well. That's why Iago is included. It's important to mention here that Iago was included. So without Leo Ortiz, Iago made the list. So we had Alassian and Juninho on the list as well because of Pedro, who isn't present. Both are on the list, and Matias Vinha is there because Alexandro isn't. You can see Gabriel Skinner and Jose Boto there as they're leaving the Flamengo bus. Look, Ayrton Lucas, we're going to put it on full screen so you can watch the Flamengo players arriving at Galeão for their flight to Fortaleza. You're watching everything on the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel partnered with Coluna do Fla, including Jose Boto, the coaching staff there with Flamengo's new jersey, the one that's just been released, right? Lifestyle, right? Not the players, but we saw Jose Boto wearing the lifestyle jersey. It's really beautiful, that black one with the red details on top. So Flamengo is arriving at Galeão to board for the match against Fortaleza, a very important game. Alô, Jorginho just walked by, and Rodrigo Paiva is in the shot too. Look, Juninho is there in place of... Actually, it's not in Pedro's place, right? But he made sure to be among those listed, both him and Alessian, because Pedro isn't here, right? Pedro, with the problem of a fracture in his forearm. And we're here following Flamengo's boarding. Here's some information regarding Alexandro. After 4 consecutive games as a starter, the club's medical department decided to manage his workload, keeping an eye on the upcoming challenges in this final stretch of the season. That's right. He was on a streak, wasn't he? 4 games in a row, really long. You can see Leo Ortiz, Luis Araujo, and other players passing by as we share the information. Leo Ortiz trained normally this Friday, but he's still recovering from the injury he suffered. He's recovering from the injury he suffered against Palmeiras. And the player will continue treatment in Rio de Janeiro and prepare for Wednesday's game against Racing. So Flamengo trained this Friday and is heading out for Saturday's game, right? And the players there, you can see them passing by. Leo Ortiz, I already expected him to return for the game against Racing. Okay, look, there's Felipe Luis arriving at the airport as well. He was there it looked like he was resting, right? Felipe looked sleepy, just resting a little bit. Alfredo, another team member, manages the base and other tasks from Jose Boto's team. Nicolas de la Cruz, Flamengo announced the reason for the player's absence. You can see Matias Vinha there, who is in Alexandro's place on the roster. Georgian de Arrascaeta, our star, number 10 and team captain. Jorginho is more of a captain now, almost like a coach on the field. Look, Rodrigo Caio, very important, is also with this group. He's a winner. Look at Saul, also another great player who's at Flamengo. So, about De La Cruz, the player had a viral infection during the week. That's crazy, man. He can't play. He has a fever, and it was confirmed by a blood test done by the club, okay? Because of that, the athlete didn't take part in the last training sessions, and that's why he wasn't included for the trip. It's crazy, right, man? That issue with De La Cruz is either an injury, a virus, or he just can't play on artificial turf. I'm going to tell you guys, man. I don't like to criticize anyone, especially Michael, given what he's going through. Despite injuries and other issues, it was money poorly spent, right? Unfortunately, because he's a great player, but it's money poorly spent. That you can't, Emerson Royal, that you can't use the player. You spend a fortune, $16,000, $17,000. I can't recall if it was $16,000 or $18,000. Also, you can't use the player. This is unbelievable. This is unacceptable, guys. It's money very poorly spent, right? Unfortunately. Look at Bruno Henrique there, who suffered injustice from Zé Elias, the commentator over at ESPN, saying that Everton Araujo, saying that Bruno Henrique, as if Bruno Henrique had said after finding out that Pedro couldn't play, that he wouldn't accept playing as a number 9, that he didn't want to play as a number 9. Bruno Henrique said that before learning about the injury. And that's another nonsense that Zé Elias says. And this one was recorded, huh? There's no one to defend him. No, this one was recorded. Guilherme Varela is there too. Iago. The players are arriving at Galeão to board, and soon they'll be arriving. Look, our goalkeeper, Agostinho Rossi, a great goalkeeper, so much determination. So Flamengo is already arriving, already there in Ceará, in Fortaleza, for this match against Fortaleza this Saturday. Look, let me bring you some important information here as well. With Flamengo's arrival, the information... Oops, there was an error here. Let's go. What do I do here? Man, I think I messed up here. Now it worked. Here we do it live. Well, look at that. The thing about De La Cruz, okay, from River Plate, they're still pushing to sign De La Cruz, right? River is looking to bring De La Cruz back. Flamengo knows they need to recoup their investment in the Uruguayan, or at least part of it, right? Rumors from Argentina suggest Marcelo Gallardo, River Plate's coach, wants to bring the player back. However, according to information from Canal Angelo Furtado, Flamengo understands that they will need to recover the investment made in the Uruguayan midfielder if they receive an official offer. So far, there are no negotiations underway. La Cruz's name is still highly valued in South America, and River Plate is watching closely. So Flamengo will want to recover at least part of that amount, you know, guys. Flamengo will not agree to let the player go for free. Look, here's something interesting. In the next rounds, Palmeiras will only play after Flamengo in the next 5 rounds of the championship, okay? Flamengo plays against Fortaleza and could take the lead, and Palmeiras plays later against Cruzeiro. I think that in this case, Palmeiras will play under pressure if Flamengo wins, okay? Flamengo faces Sport. Palmeiras face Juventude away next, Flamengo faces São Paulo away, and Palmeiras faces Santos at home. Santos comes under pressure, fighting against relegation. Flamengo faces Santos. And then Palmeiras plays at home, Santos at home, and Palmeiras faces Mirassol away. Okay, these are good rounds. Sport faces Flamengo at home. So, fighting to avoid relegation, they're practically already relegated, right? And Santos, also fighting to avoid relegation, faces Palmeiras the next day as well. So, that's 5 straight rounds with Flamengo playing first. So, yeah, I think it's good because it puts pressure on them. Just get the result and keep up the pressure. João Pedro Diógenes is speaking. Antônio Dutra, no problem. Palmeiras players won't play for Flamengo. It's good. It puts pressure on them. Before, it was the opposite. Flamengo always played after. So I've already mentioned De La Cruz, right? Flamengo will only agree to negotiate if they receive compensation. And that's right. That's exactly what they should do. There's also some important information for us to share here, which is that Cruzeiro's fans have joined the No Shouting campaign, the one where a fan from Palmeiras criticized, right? Cruzeiro's fans, Cruzeiro's headquarters, the pressure on the referees from Palmeiras is absurd. On and off the field, by the way, these players rushing at the referee are absurd. Everton then is bizarre. Then they put here, Brazil saw yesterday what they are without help. This has to stop. Hashtag no grito no. Brazil saw yesterday what they are without help. Cruzeiro fans are saying this has to stop, not by shouting, okay? So the fans there, hey, it's important, guys. Good, Cabaloso, go get them. They're waking up. Yeah, you said it all. Without my Ramon Abati Abel. Yeah, what a statement. The crowd is loving it. Good thing I'm a flat earther, right? Everton and Gustavo Gomez did it first. Go get them, Cruzeiro. Ramon sent this. Ramon E. Moraes, S.A. I'm a Cruzeiro fan, but Flamengo will win the Brazilian Championship and Libertadores, God willing, my brother. God hears you. Now, I'm going to share some news for Palmeiras fans watching us. Do you know when Liga Deportiva Universitaria last lost by 3 or 4 goals in the Libertadores? It was with goals from Flamengo players. Yeah. The last time was in 2020 against River Plate 3-0, with Jorge Carrascal, now at Flamengo, scoring the 3rd goal. That's wild, such a coincidence. In 2016, they lost to Grêmio. And it was 4-0, and the goal was scored by Everton Cebolinha. How is that possible, right? In the middle of that, there was also a big defeat in the South American Cup, but that was in 2022. But talking about the Libertadores, it was in 2016 with goals from today's Flamengo players, okay? So that's an interesting fact to share with you about the Libertadores, right? And the opponent is in a match that matters to Flamengo, right? Since it's the semifinals, Flamengo is on the other side of the bracket, also facing Racing away and playing for a draw, okay? So yeah, there are also some other pieces of information to bring quickly. I even sent it here to my crew here. That thing about Botafogo, you know, man, it's scary over there. I'm impressed. I'm going to look at this. Botafogo is negotiating with the squad about the payment of the Club World Cup prize. Members of Botafogo's management met with team leaders at the Espacio Lonier training center. They said there's no bonus payment forecast and proposed paying it in installments over a year. The club earned $146.3 million in revenue for reaching the round of 16. Debts remain unpaid to football department players and staff. The board complains that the athletes are asking for a larger share of the prize money than was previously agreed upon. The bots situation, yikes. The situation at Botafogo is really bad, man. What a situation at Botafogo. Look, I'm going to say something. This situation at Botafogo is really bad, to the surprise of no one, right? We know that Botafogo, I said it here, right? With these ridiculous signings, Textor taking players out, bringing players in, man, some weird deals going on, right? I told you guys about this. That's it, man. Sooner or later, the bill comes due. Sooner or later, the bill comes due, okay? I wanted to criticize this guy here, this Arnaldo Ribeiro, because he said the following. Look at this slip-up. And I really liked Mauro Cesar Pereira also saying that it was fake news about Flamengo's fans not chanting against Racing. He called it out live there. And I'll tell you guys, this anti-Flamengo media is just too much. It's too much. And they like to call the journalists who support Flamengo influencers. They like to belittle them. I'd say they're just influencers, that they're YouTubers. A lot of pride, brother. Today, YouTube pays better than traditional media. I'll say it here since I saw Renato Mauricio Prado criticizing. He said Liga Deportiva Universitaria, led by Thiago Nunes, could be eliminated next match, but they've already made history in this Libertadores against Flamengo, Botafogo, São Paulo, and Palmeiras. Incredible. So he's saying that Liga Deportiva Universitaria made history against Flamengo. It was 0-0 in Quito and 2-0 for Flamengo at Maracanã. The anti-Flamengo sentiment really impresses me, man. The anti-Flamengo sentiment impresses me. How can they be so bold to say that? He acts like Flamengo lost to Liga Deportiva Universitaria just to impress the crowd. People have short memories. They think Flamengo lost to Liga Deportiva Universitaria in the Libertadores too. Flamengo drew at high altitude, then won 2-0 at Maracanã. It could have been 5. Check this out. We also had the issue I mentioned about Renato Mauricio Prado, okay? I saw some fans complaining that I said I'm against buying the Maracanã. I'm against buying the Maracanã and not building the stadium. If you buy the Maracanã and build a stadium, where do I sign? That's fine. You buy the Maracanã and build your own stadium. So will there be 2 stadiums? There's the Maracanã and the one you'll build for other games. I fully support it. If buying the Maracanã means not building the stadium, I'm out. I'd rather build it. We had Renato Mauricio Prado responding to Giannotti, right? He wrote, Renato, it's sad to see someone with your intellect become just another influencer fan. Go to hell, man. Who do you think you are to call me an influencer fan? I'm a journalist like most others there who focus on just one club. Renato also talks about only one club. Put on the jersey and cap. What's the problem? Today, you're an influencer for Palmeiras. You guys are influencers for other clubs. All of you, you like to say, we're traditional media. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You're influencers. You're rivals too. Attack us and you'll be attacked. There's no friendship here. You're not anyone's buddy and I'm not yours. Here, you're an influencer. You're from Palmeiras, from São Paulo, but you disrespect Flamengo's influencers and journalists. You deserve to be put in your place. Who are you in the breadline, man? Let me check if it's worth my time. It's not worth it. Look at the amount. Look at the guy's audience, bro. The guy does this. He really just wanted attention, right? Spreading hate on social media. Influencers, I know it's common, but I'm sorry for admiring you before. Wishing you happiness and take care. Is all this just because he wrote Funeral Atmosphere on the Roundtable Show on cable television, huh? You see it on ESPN. Come on, that's right. Renato Mauricio Prado really put Jean Oddi in his place. Jean, I used to admire you too, but nowadays, unfortunately, what I see is just another Palmeiras fan journalist who has a special dislike for Flamengo. Be happy that way. Take care. Bruno de Laurentiis sent it. John, he commented about you, but not about our colleague Danilo Lavieri, who posted a page of the contract cutting out exactly the part that proved Flamengo right. Or about Zé Elias, who said yesterday Danilo was cheating at Flamengo. It says a lot about who Jean Oddi is. Perfect. Congrats to Renato Mauricio Prado, player of the match. Player of the match. This is the player of the match. He owned it. He owned it, Jean Oddi. What a performance by Renato Mauricio Prado. He's a great idol. He shines in journalism. He's a Flamengo fan, but the others are Palmeiras fans, and we're not influencers. You guys are the influencers because you guys are terraflanistas. You guys are terraflanistas. Yeah? So you're the influencers, not me. I'm Palmeiras. I'm trendy. I'm a journalist. I'm PVC. I'm a journalist. No way, man. You're an influencer just the same, man. An influencer just the same. Damn. Don't talk nonsense, man. Who are you in the breadline, okay? I even posted it here. This Gene, just like other Palmeiras influencers, accuses us of being terraflanistas, but they're the most biased ones. They live to attack Flamengo. And Gene, stop being silly and admit that everyone is an influencer nowadays. You trying to lay down the law is almost comical. It's almost comical. Thanks, Palmeiras influencer, okay? So the people praise the earlier joiner. Opina Porco is the top Palmeiras influencer. He's very impartial and sensible. He's amazing, okay? So we're answering now. I support Renato Mauricio Prado on this. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, subscribe, enable notifications, and like the video. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Thanks, everyone. Big hug. I'm out. Go get them.